the strange psychology of remembering things that never happened. A conversation you clearly remember, a moment you could swear happened, a childhood memory that feels vivid, detailed, and completely real. You can see it, you can hear it, you can almost feel yourself standing there again. And yet, one day, someone tells you something unexpected. That conversation never happened. That event happened differently. That memory isn't real. At first you assume they're mistaken. After all, you remember it. Not vaguely, not partially, clearly. The details feel undeniable. The emotions feel authentic. The certainty feels absolute. But then evidence appears. A photograph, a message, a witness. Something that proves your memory is wrong, not slightly wrong, completely wrong. And suddenly, a disturbing question emerges. If the memory felt real, how can it be false? Most people trust their memories. We build our identities around them. We use them to explain who we are. We use them to understand our past. We use them to make decisions about the future. Memories feel like evidence, like recordings, like personal documentaries stored somewhere inside the brain. But psychology has uncovered something both fascinating and unsettling. Your memory is not a recording. It never was. The human brain does not store experiences the way a camera records video. It does not preserve perfect copies of reality waiting to be replayed later. Instead, memory works more like storytelling. Every time you remember something, your brain rebuilds it, piece by piece, moment by moment, detail by detail, and whenever something is rebuilt, mistakes become possible. The strange thing is that most people imagine memory as a storage system. Something happens. The brain saves it. Later the memory is retrieved. Simple, logical, comforting. But reality is much messier. When an experience occurs, different parts of that experience are stored in different areas of the brain. The sounds, the images, the emotions, the meanings, the sensations. They are not stored together like a movie file. They exist as separate fragments. Then, when you try to remember the event, your brain gathers those fragments and reconstructs the story. Most of the time, this process works surprisingly well. But it is not perfect, and perfection was never the goal. The brain evolved for survival, not historical accuracy. That distinction changes everything. Imagine two ancient humans walking through a forest. One notices movement in nearby bushes. The brain quickly interprets the situation as danger. Perhaps it is a predator, perhaps it isn't. But from an evolutionary perspective, assuming danger was often safer than assuming safety. A false alarm could be embarrassing. Ignoring a real threat could be fatal. Over thousands of generations, the brain became optimized for usefulness rather than precision. It learned to fill in gaps, make assumptions, predict outcomes, construct explanations. These abilities helped humans survive. But they also created the possibility of false memories, because the same brain that fills gaps in the present can also fill gaps in the past, and often it does so without your awareness. One of the most surprising discoveries in psychology is that remembering changes memories. Most people assume recalling a memory simply accesses stored information, but research suggests something more complicated happens. Every time you remember an event, the memory becomes temporarily unstable. It leaves storage. It becomes active, malleable, open to influence. Then it is stored again. Psychologists call this process reconsolidation. The important detail is that during reconsolidation, new information can become attached to old memories. A suggestion, a conversation, a photograph, a story, an assumption. All of these can alter what is remembered, and once the memory is stored again, the changes often feel completely natural. The brain rarely labels the additions. It simply presents the revised version as reality. This means that memories are not frozen snapshots of the past. They are living constructions, continuously updated, continuously edited, continuously rewritten. And yet, they still feel certain. That certainty is what makes false memories so fascinating, because confidence and accuracy are not the same thing. A person can be extremely confident about a memory and still be completely wrong. In fact, some false memories feel more convincing than genuine ones. The emotional intensity creates a powerful illusion of truth. The brain assumes, if it feels real, it must be real. But emotions are not proof. They are experiences, and experiences can be misleading. This becomes especially important when considering childhood memories. Many of the memories people carry from early childhood are surprisingly fragile. Some contain real events mixed with